It was a dark and stormy night when Layla found the letter, hidden beneath a pile of old newspapers in the attic. It was worn and weathered, yet it held an undeniable sense of mystery. The ink on the paper was smudged, and the words barely readable, but Layla could make out enough to feel a chill crawl down her spine. The letter was from her late grandmother, someone she had always considered a beacon of wisdom. But this letter, it promised secrets that no one had ever spoken of before. Was it an invitation to uncover something her family had kept hidden for years, or was it a warning? Layla couldn't decide. The weight of the paper felt heavier with each passing second, as if it contained more than just ink and words. The next morning, Layla couldn't shake off the unsettling feeling the letter had left her with. She carefully opened it again, determined to decipher the cryptic message. "Find the truth where the old oak tree stands," the letter said. The simplicity of the words made it all the more perplexing. What truth, and why the oak tree? Layla had heard stories about this tree. Her grandmother often spoke of it in riddles, but she had never explained why it was so important. Layla's curiosity was piqued. She knew she had to go to the tree to uncover whatever it was her grandmother had left for her. But with every step toward the tree, Layla could feel the weight of the past pressing against her. Was she ready for what she might find? As Layla approached the old oak tree, she noticed something strange. There was a small stone plaque at its base that she had never seen before. It was partially covered in moss, but there was enough space to read the inscription. "Only the purest heart will reveal what lies beneath." Her breath caught in her throat. Was this another test? Layla crouched down to examine the stone more closely, her fingers brushing against the cold surface. The moment she touched it, the ground beneath her feet trembled. She jumped back, her heart racing. The earth parted slightly, revealing a hidden compartment just beneath the oak's roots. Layla's mind was racing. What was inside? Inside the compartment lay an old, ornate box. Its surface was carved with intricate symbols that seemed to shift as Layla stared at them. The box was locked, but there was a keyhole, and Layla instinctively reached into her pocket. The key from the letter, the one her grandmother had given her years ago, fit perfectly. With a turn, the box opened, revealing an assortment of old documents and a small, dusty journal. Layla could hardly contain her excitement. She carefully flipped through the journal, but what she found inside sent a wave of dread over her. The entries were written in her grandmother's handwriting. The words painted a picture of a life full of secrets, betrayals, and a truth that had been buried for years. The first entry in the journal caught her attention immediately. The truth must stay hidden, or it will destroy us all. Layla felt a cold shiver run down her spine. What had her grandmother meant? The more she read, the more she understood that her grandmother had been involved in something much darker than she had ever imagined. There were mentions of people from their past who were never spoken of, secret meetings in the dead of night, and cryptic symbols that Layla had seen before, on the box, on the letter, and even in the old family heirlooms. What was this connection? Why had her grandmother kept such a powerful secret? Layla's mind raced as she flipped through the journal, each page revealing more unsettling truths. But one thing stood out above all else. Her grandmother had been protecting something or someone. The entries spoke of a mysterious family member who had disappeared years ago, a man named Elias. Layla had heard whispers about him growing up, but no one would speak of it. Her grandmother had always changed the subject whenever his name came up. Now she realized why. Elias was the key to understanding everything. He had known something about the truth that her family had buried, and whatever it was linked to the power that her grandmother had fought so hard to protect. As Layla continued to read, she discovered a shocking revelation. Elias had left a final message, a map, before he vanished. The map pointed to a hidden location, one that was connected to the very heart of her family's legacy. Layla's pulse quickened. Could it be possible? Could Elias have left behind the key to the truth her grandmother had been trying to protect? She knew she had to follow the map, even though it led to a place she had never heard of, deep in the mountains where no one had ventured in years. With no time to waste, Layla packed the journal, the letter, and the map, preparing for the journey that would change everything. The journey was long, and the path was treacherous. The mountain trails were overgrown, and the air grew colder as Layla ascended higher, but with each step she felt an overwhelming sense of urgency, as though the truth was waiting for her just beyond the next bend. She thought of her grandmother, the secrets she had kept, and the legacy that Layla was now a part of. The map led her to an ancient temple, hidden from the world, tucked away in a remote valley. The temple seemed abandoned, but there was something about it that felt alive, as if it had been waiting for her. Layla stepped inside, and what she found there would haunt her forever. Inside the temple, Layla found a room filled with relics, each one holding a piece of the family's history. There, in the center of the room, stood a large stone pedestal with a glowing gem embedded in it. It was clear that this was the source of the family's power, the truth that her grandmother had kept hidden for so long. Layla reached out to touch the gem, but the moment her fingers brushed against it, the room shook violently. The walls seemed to close in on her, and the air grew thick with an energy that she couldn't explain. Was she too late? Had she disturbed something that shouldn't be touched? As the shaking subsided, Layla realized that the gem was no ordinary object. It was a key to unlocking the ultimate truth, a truth that could change the world. With the gem in her hand, Layla understood the burden her family had carried for generations. They had protected this power, this knowledge, because it was too dangerous for anyone else to possess. But now, the truth was hers to wield. The journey had been long, filled with danger and uncertainty, but Layla had finally discovered the hidden legacy of her family. Truth was out, and now she would decide what to do with it.